You ever wake up, look out your window, and realize someone's building a pool on your land, and not just anyone, but a woman in heels yelling at construction workers like she owns the zip code? That was my Tuesday. Jackhammers going fence already gone, and Karen mimosa in hand telling me I should be grateful she was raising my property value. I didn't argue, didn't yell, just turned around, went inside, opened a drawer full of permits and wildlife papers, and smiled. See, I'm not just some recluse with goats in a garden. I used to be a wildlife officer, and if she wanted a war, she picked the wrong backyard. Let me back up a bit. I own 5 acres on the edge of a master plan suburb with all the pastel-painted, rule-obsessed charm you'd expect from a tight-laced HOA. Except I was here before all that. I don't pay dues, I don't attend meetings, and I sure as hell don't take orders about mowing land I turned into a wildlife refuge. But Karen, she didn't get the memo. First time we met, she tried to fine me for overgrown wilderness. I told her nicely I wasn't part of the HOA. She just squinted and said close enough to affect community morale. Yeah, that happened. Next thing I know, she's measuring my property line like she's planning an expansion. I gave her the legal boundaries verbally and on paper, and she backed off for a while. Then came the pool. I walk outside and my fence is gone. There's a crew laying down concrete. The foreman tells me Karen said it was HOA land, showed him permits, even marked the lines. I pointed to my house, my barn, and said, "Buddy, this is my land." He looked like I'd told him gravity was optional. And then Karen shows up, grinning like a politician at a ribbon cutting, says it's for HOA events, tells me I can use it if I behave. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Does this look like undeveloped land to you?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't make this difficult." Back inside, I made a few calls, Dennis, from my old wildlife days, my lawyer, and a quiet tip to the county office. That night, Dennis and I stood by the wet concrete and agreed it was perfect. Big enough, deep enough, and about to become Florida's most entertaining gator pond. Next morning, 3 juvenile gators slid into their new home. Fully licensed, safely enclosed, and perfectly legal. I put up a sign, "Wildlife Habitat, authorized access only." Then I poured some coffee and waited. By noon, I heard the scream. Karen's pool party dreams had met cold-blooded reality. She called animal control. Officer shows up. I meet him at the fence with every permit, survey, and clearance he could possibly want. He nodded and said, "Well, you're covered." Karen tried to come back with backup, 2 board members trailing behind her like regretful interns. She shouted that the gators had to go. I handed her the same documents. She stomped off. But someone had filmed her meltdown and posted it. By dinner, she was viral. The next day, she sent me a cease and desist on HOA letterhead, claimed I was endangering the community. I pinned it next to the gator sign with a note, Exhibit A. The internet had a field day. Karen then brought in her own team inspectors, trying to find violations. But what she didn't know, I had trail cams from my wildlife days. Every time they stepped over my fence line, I had video GPS time stamps. One clip caught her saying, "We'll win by default when we file nuisance charges." Zoning inspector came out next, real one this time. Checked the pool, checked the permits, checked the gators. Said, "It's unconventional, but it's legal. The problem is the pool, it's built on land that's not hers." That spread like wildfire. Karen's allies vanished. At the hardware store, one board guy whispered, "We were told it was a donated easement." I just nodded. Health department showed up, anonymous complaint about sanitation. They found a clean habitat, proper fencing, healthy gators. Inspector left smiling. Karen. She wasn't done. She held a community meeting, rented a hall, hired a videographer. Claimed I was turning the neighborhood into a swamp zoo. So I showed up front row, thick folder in hand. When she started ranting, I raised my hand and calmly laid out everything: property lines, permits, wildlife clearances, even HOA fund misuse. Room fell silent. One board member said she used HOA money for this. Another muttered, I thought we vetoed that. Karen tried to shout me down, but no one was buying it. Her grip cracked. She went nuclear, filed a restraining order, and demanded the gators be removed. Claimed psychological trauma. The judge watched footage of her trespassing, bossing workers around, and read my permits. Dismissed it on the spot, called it harassment. Local news picked up the story again. Headline read, Judge rules pool illegal gators. Stay. Video showed Karen knocking over a mic while tripping into a bush. Someone edited it with dramatic music. It blew up again. Karen got voted out. Her house went up for sale. HOA board sent me a letter apologizing for everything. No more surprise visits, no more drones, just peace. The gators. They're still here. Neighborhood kids came by with their school group. Teacher asked if they could observe. I agreed as long as they stayed behind the fence. One kid asked, Is it true this used to be a party pool? I said, Yeah, it was meant to be, but this is better. A few weeks later, court ruled in my favor, trespassing unauthorized construction misuse of HOA funds. Karen had to pay damages. I posted one final photo online, me holding the court order gators, sunbathing behind me with the caption, Sometimes you don't fight fire with fire, just add water and a few reptiles. So now I gotta ask, did I go too far, or did she finally meet someone who wouldn't roll over? You tell me, drop your thoughts below. I'll be out back watching the gators.